Avast, and welcome to Finding Monster Right, the show about fighting monsters, right?
Avast, right.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Captain Amab, because today, that sucks. Call me Ishmael instead. Some years ago, never mind how long precisely, having involuntarily pausing before Coffin Warehouses, I will read this whole fucking book. Don't test me.
24 hours later.
24 hours later, all wet. The end. However the book ends.
That's the boat. I know that boat. Thanks, Queequeg. That's our episode.
This is a cavalcade.
No, this is fine. It's been a real commotion in the ocean. Moby Dick versus OceanGate versus the Yacht Orcas.
Moby Dick versus King DDD versus Terran Killum.
Those first two would be a pretty good pair-off. I think DDD has a lot of major whale features.
It's the second episode of the year. We're barely out of 2023 at this point. This is the first episode we're recording in 2024. And so we decided to look back on some ocean-based news of yesteryear, quite literally, as well as something that fits a little tightly into our themes of June-uary, where we bring the beachy vibes of June into January, particularly on this dark and stormy night. So we normally do ocean monsters this month. And also, this is June-uary 4. You ask forgiveness, I give you sweet revenge.
Yeah, the ultimate tale of revenge. Moby Dick, or, the whale. Do you know that this is the second 1800s novel that we talked about that has this title format?
The first one would have been Frankenstein.
Yeah, or, the modern Prometheus. Did all 1800s books just have two names to them?
I mean, I guess.
Dracula, or, that guy.
Sherlock Holmes, or, neurodivergent cokehead.
We're taking these news stories and this old whale and going head to head to head. Which of these fighters do you want to do you want to start with, Allie?
Well, let's start with OceanGate, I think.
Okay. The talk of the town. The tragic tale of someone that Icarists, but in the other way.
I mean,
that drove their submersible too deep.
They dove too greedily and too deep. Well, tragedy is a strong word. It's mostly funny because it was only billionaires that died.
It's not a conspiracy. But it was called Gate right out of the gates.
Yeah, they really set themselves up for failure with that. So, OceanGate Incorporated is a American privately owned company based in Everett, Washington, that provided cruise submersibles for tourism, industry research, and exploration. It was founded in 2009 by Stockton Rush and Guillermo Soundlein?
Yeah, you zoom past his name there, but I want to point out that this was founded by Rich Stock Rush. That's his name.
Richard Stockton Rush III, whose name sounds like a parody of white people, and
he sounds like a DreamWorks picture what the joke rich guy's name is.
Yeah, and also his Wikipedia picture is him like mid-plosive, like they did My Boys So Dirty.
I like it says pictured in 2015. Clearly from some documentary, they picked a really weird one.
Yeah, it's like the Zoom call froze.
It's big Zoom call froze energy.
Yeah. So in 2022, in a podcast with CBS reporter David Pogge, who knows? I'm not looking it up. Rush discussed his attitude towards what he perceived as excessive safety precautions. He said, at some point, safety is just pure waste. I mean, if you just want to be safe, don't get out of bed, don't get in your car, don't do anything. At some point, you've got to take some risk. And really is a risk-reward question. I think I can do this just as safely by breaking the rules. And then he imploded a submarine with 5 other people inside.
Yep.
Because he was trying to be James Cameron.
Yeah, seeking out the biggest naval disaster on record.
Yes, this was a submersible that was taking people to view the wreck of the Titanic, which, shout out to the Titanic for killing 5 people 120 years after it sank.
A pretty amazing move that no one saw coming. Also cheers to the name of the vessel, the Titan.
Yeah, it's the Titan, which was made with, like, non-regulation hull materials that even James Cameron of stage and screen was like, this is a dumb idea.
He made this little tiny, like, itty-bitty capsule, where I'm looking at the schematic on Wikipedia Alley, and I cannot get over how, like, tiny this thing is. Like 5 people in that is, like... Like, I wouldn't want 5 people, like, in my bathroom at home.
And yet that's what you would get.
Yeah.
Including the one guy driving it who is some billionaire with a Game Boy. Like...
Yeah, the controller is the one that you hand to your little brother when you're trying to, when he wants to play.
This guy, older brothers.
It's the one that you, like, it comes with 64 games.
Yeah, there was that Photoshop picture of, like, the seabed and just, like, a single game controller. Which was Photoshopped, but, like, still that would have been so fucking funny. Alright, I found
They had simulations of what exactly occurred, which is a cut. An implosion happened. Basically, all the contents of this submarine were turned to a fine mist immediately.
So, I found the exact thing that James Cameron criticized the vessel for. So, Cameron criticized the choice of carbon fiber composite construction of the pressure vessel, pointing out that such material had no strength and compression when subject to the immense pressures at depth. Cameron said that the pressure hull should be made out of contiguous materials like steel, titanium, ceramic, or acrylic, and that the wound carbon fiber of Titan's hull had seemed like a bad idea to him from the beginning. So, like, people in the I'm a rich boy with a submarine fandom.
The richest boy with the submarine.
The richest boy
who knows a lot about pressure. He's making 6 Avatar movies.
Yeah. But... But no, so, like, the king of the Rich Boys with Submarines fandom was like, yeah, everybody in the Rich Boys with Submarine fandom is making fun of this guy, and we're a bunch of, like, fucking wackadoo billionaires with a underwater boat, and we think he's being dumb. Which, carbon fiber composite, like, that rings to me of, like, I read Physics of the Impossible, and now I think I'm fucking Doc Brown or some shit. Like...
Yeah, Doc Brown was a real trendsetter, you know? He had to steal that plutonium in order to make his car work.
This guy reads to me as, like, took Neil deGrasse Tyson seriously.
Yeah, no, it was that attitude, but, like, no one had the money to stop him.
Yes, precisely. Like,
or the oversight, at least. And good, I kind of... Look, it's sad when people die in aquatic accidents, but it's not sad when the billionaires get their comeuppance.
Yeah.
A fate like this would be terrible if it happened to more billionaires, wouldn't it? Oh, that would be the worst. I really hope Elon Musk doesn't try to drive a Tesla into space.
You know, I don't know how he would drive a Tesla into space, but I feel like he would try.
Well, it's a promotional stunt. He, like, does some, like, back-of-the-napkin, like, calculations and gives them to, like, an engineer who says, this doesn't make any sense, sir. But doesn't say that because he has to work his job for another 6 months. So he builds it, and then Elon Musk gets, like, kind of, what's it called? Chickened into hopping on board, launched in space, and it doesn't work like he thought.
Yeah, no, I mean... They launched a Tesla car into orbit, but there wasn't a guy in it. I feel like the next step is he's in it.
Yeah, it's him. But enough about my dreams. The Titan sub wasn't the only aquatic tale in recent history.
No, because also in 2020 through 2023 most recently, about 500 reported interactions have occurred off the coast of the Iberian Peninsula, particularly around the Strait of Gibraltar, of a pod of orcas that has been sinking yachts.
Hell yeah, Batman.
Hell yeah.
Sink them yachts.
So, the Iberian coastal population of orcas is a population of about 39, which they are an endangered population. They feed mostly on Atlantic bluefin tuna, which makes them a resident orcapod, as opposed to transients, which feed on marine mammals, and offshore orcas that mostly feed on deep-sea fish and sharks. And their ringleader is an orca named White Gladys.
Oh, that's kick-ass.
Yeah. It reminds me...
Also, they... props for setting up in, like, my favorite straits of all time.
Gibraltar is a cool strait. There's monkeys in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you don't know about the apes of Gibraltar?
No, it sounds like my favorite film franchise.
No, the Gibraltar macaques are Europe's only native primate besides humans, I suppose. Yeah, there's native Europeans, that's a thing.
Kick ass. If I had the ability to wild shape, and I could turn into an animal and cause all kinds of ruckus, this is, like, top of my list.
Oh, Barbary macaques?
No, turning into an orca and bullying rich billionaires.
Oh, okay, that too, yeah.
Yeah, just because I like it because of how, the billionaire, like, has the ability. I like treating them as some kind of eldritch entity. The billionaire has the ability to, like, rise above any type of human-based, like, obstacle in their path. However, the animal kingdom has many members.
Some of them are 9 meters long, or in American units, 5.09 Stathams.
And are protected by rules of repopulation. So, tough shit, billionaires. Get wrecked.
Yeah. Now, large carnivores have been encountering humans more frequently because of climate change and habitat fragmentation, and this is a trend that's been seen in grizzlies and polar bears and wolves and pumas. Or maybe the orcas are just doing straight-up revenge.
There's June-uary, they're avenging it out there.
Yeah. They're mostly attacking the boat's rudders, which, like, immobilizing them first, which is...
Yeah, again, really just a smart tactical move on their parts.
Yeah. So, White Gladys, they think, is an orca that was hurt or injured by a boat in her youth, and that's why she's kind of turned her pod against them in general. But
fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Love it. I love there's a hero orc too.
Trends like this happen. Like in 1972, a single yacht was sunk off the Galapagos. Mm-hmm. And in 1987, one female orca started wearing a salmon, like a dead salmon, on her head like a hat. And for just one summer, all the orcas in the area just kind of followed up on that trend in the whole Pacific Northwest.
Oh, it was salmon hat season.
It was salmon hats. It was the season of salmon hats. It was hot salmon summer.
The salmon hats were in.
Yeah.
Hat salmon summer.
Hat salmon summer. So, if any animal was going to carry out straight-up revenge, it might be orcas. Because orcas are one of the few predatory mammals that are smart enough to work with humans.
Yes, right. They tag team it out there.
Yeah. The Yuin tribe of Australian Aborigines off the coast of New South Wales, what is presently New South Wales, has...
Led by Orca 1, right?
Yeah. Have worked with orcas for thousands of years and taught European settlers, and particularly European whalers, how to work with them. See, humpbacks and southern right whales migrate past the Australian coast every year between April and November.
Okay.
And how it works is the orcas alert the humans help the orcas hunt the animal, they leave the whale carcass in the water for the orcas to take the lips and tongue,
okay,
which are the tastiest part.
Yeah, it makes sense. You know, you gotta start there.
And then the humans take the oil.
Okay, it's a little symbiosis there. Everyone wins except the whale.
Yeah. And that's called the law of the tongue.
Okay, great.
Which is also the only law I know.
The only law you obey?
Yes. So, that was a weird yes. Yeah. That was a weirder yes. So, wait, hang on. I can get weirder. Yeah. Well, all right.
So moving past that agreement.
So, one of the last whales that was part of this agreement was a whale called Old Tom, who was like this legendary whale around Twofold Bay in Eden, New South Wales. like, there are cases where sailors would fall off of ships and, like, you know, sharks would be after them because it's New South Wales and you have a whale carcass in the water. So great whites, who are, like, marine mammal feeders, are going to be sniffing around.
Sure, yeah, no, you're in their you're in their world now.
Exactly, as the tagline for Adventure Aquarium on the Camden waterfront would tell you. But
yes,
Old Tom actually protected sailors from sharks.
which is pretty awesome.
Yeah. But then, 100 years ago today, no, 101 years ago today, in 1923, whaling was on the decline, and Captain James Logan took in a whale before Old Tom could take his share.
Oh no.
It was a dark and stormy night, much like tonight, and in the ensuing tongue of war, Logan, a rope wrapped around some of Tom's front teeth, and Logan ripped them out, which is a death sentence to an orca. Like,
oh, fuck.
That means he can't hunt anymore, pretty much. So Logan is said to have fallen to his knees, having broken an ancient pact between man and beast, and said, "My God, what have I done?" And about 7 years later, they found Old Tom, who had died around 1930, just a year after commercial whaling was banned in Australia. He was starved to death, his mouth full of abscesses, and his stomach empty.
Aw.
Yeah.
It's very tragic, but he's what an icon of that era. And also that's supposed to be what your reaction should be to injuring a whale. Not like, oh, the whale took my rudder away.
Exactly,
oh,
yeah.
That's a $1 million rudder. It's gone now. What the hell, man?
That rudder costs more than your life, whale.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
What is this voice? That reminds me of my Trump impression, which is just needlessly femme. I don't know what that says.
But enough about the end of the days of whaling. What about the heyday?
The heyday of whaling. The way day.
Yeah, back in the semicolon or comma days.
Back in the semicolon or comma days.
I'm talking about, ring, 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 ring.
Ahoy, hoy.
Ahoy, hoy. Call me Ishmael.
Okay, you're Ishmael. Now what?
Thank you. Click. Yeah, it's really fucked up. There's only like 2 guys that have a phone.
Yeah, he keeps calling me. What's his name? I think it's Ishmael. What's calling mean? You wouldn't understand. That's true.
So yeah.
That's true. That people used to answer the phone with ahoy.
Which is pretty awesome. I'm sad it went out of fashion.
Yeah, I think it was some kind of bullshit capitalism reason. Like, hello, read better on TV or something.
I hope our trend catches on of answering the phone with "Good evening."
That is how we greet each other whenever we start the call to record an episode.
Yes.
So,
but yes, Moby Dick.
Yeah,
Big Dick.
Moby Dick was a book written during the height of American whaling in 1851. Writing about a ship sailing out of New England. Now, I've been to New England. I've been to Cape Cod and Martha's Vineyard in Nantucket and everything. One of my college roommates was from there, and he had, like, a sperm whale skeleton just hanging in the halls of his high school.
It's pretty awesome.
It's kind of awesome. Moby Dick is the story about a man who hates an animal.
Yeah, I'd seen the film adaptation, the one that you have on VHS.
Mm-hmm.
We had rented it from the library and watched it on like a car ride. Yeah, my dad did this thing where he would strap like the VHS playing TV to like the inside of the car, and we would watch stuff like that. So rereading the story, I was reminded of all the scenes that I saw in that film.
Yeah, which you reread the book for this, or read the book for the first time for this episode, right?
I intended to read the book for the first time for this episode.
Good job.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You. It's the thought that counts.
No, not really.
I took it off the shelf. I looked at it. I took the Spark Notes off the shelf. I looked at it, opened it, read a couple pages, and read other books instead.
So Well, who knows what happens in Moby Dick then, because I haven't read it either.
Well, I know the tale. It's and I was gonna say that it's surprisingly not a lot more than it says on the tin.
Mm.
It's like you see all the cartoon parodies of like, oh man, that Captain Ahab, he sure lost a leg to that whale, and he sure wants that whale back. But isn't there more to the story than that? And while yes, that is the heart of it and soul of it, in most of the scenes, is this grumpy ass, old grizzled Captain Ahab wants to kill that damn whale.
Well, that's the plot, but it's not the story.
Right, the story is about Ishmael, a sailor, who with his fresh buddy Queequeg, hops aboard the ship the Pequod, and travels about the whale from Nantucket.
Well, this is a more detailed version of the plot, but yes.
Okay, tell me the story, Allie.
The story is about no metaphors, no nothing, just a man who hates an animal. Ahab's monomaniacal desire to kill the white whale is the white whale God? Is the white whale death? And, these are the questions that, we ask. Adam, I didn't read the fucking book either, man. Why are we doing this episode?
I read a plot summary, but apparently it's not the story summary, so I don't know. I'm not allowed to say it.
Well, okay. Why don't we talk about the plot?
Okay. So this ship, that captained by Ahab, Ishmael and his buddy Queequeg are on it. They go around to different ships, and he's like, "Hey, have you seen the white whale?" And he's like, and they're all like, "Oh yeah, that fucker. Yeah, you shouldn't go after him. It's a bad idea. Don't bother with this." And Ahab is like, "Fuck you." And he fucking nails a doubloon to the mast, and he's like, "Whoever spots him gets this gold doubloon." And he keeps going around and keeps meeting ships, and they have several outings where they encounter other sperm whales and stuff like that. When two ships meet, it's called a gam. Mm-hmm. They're like gamming together.
That gold doubloon, which costs $4 in 1851, or in 2024 dollars, about $164.
Hey now, that's pretty great.
164 smackaroos to whoever can point out that big fish.
So the crew of the Pequod are very diverse. It's way too woke for modern audiences.
It is. It's very. Yeah, honestly, it is cool how diverse it is. And again, we haven't read the book. We're bad podcasters. But I mean, from reading the plot summary, I didn't notice anything in there that was like, yes, and white people are better. Like, they did not H.G. Wells on us.
Yeah, no, there are mentions of, like, slavery and stuff like that, but it was kind of noteworthy for its time of, like, oh, no, you're actually treating people that look different as people, as characters in this tale.
Yeah, Queequeg, who is covered in tattoos and who is the son of a king on a fictional Pacific island of a tribe of cannibals. All right, well, we had a good run. We had a good run with the wokeness.
Yeah.
In the 1800s, people were much more afraid of cannibals than they are now.
Which, are there more or less cannibals than there used to be?
Surely less than there used to be. I don't think there were ever as many as they thought there were. There were probably some, but not that many. That's crazy.
Oh, that sounds accurate.
Yeah, that was just a racism.
Yeah, it's also, funnily, a story that's full of prophecies.
I hated the prophecy part.
I love that shit. Just because it just adds more and more, like, fantasy elements to this. Just this realistic whaling tale. It's like, they just straight up, like, do Macbeth, like, in the middle of this adventure.
Oh, they kind of do, don't they?
Yeah.
Except the fortune teller is some random man from India.
Right.
Again, all right, well, hey, fair for its day, ? Haven't read it, not sure. Why are we doing this episode?
Let's get to Moby Dick the Monster.
Moby Dick the Monster. So Moby Dick the Monster is a giant white bull sperm whale.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
He is arguably the main antagonist of the novel, as Wikipedia puts it. I would argue that Ahab is kind of a villain protagonist because he is just hunting down a whale for no particular reason.
Oh, he stole his leg, right?
Yeah, but he runs into some British guy who, like, it's like, yeah, Moby Dick took my arm, but, like, it's basically a big cow with teeth. Like, it doesn't know what it's doing. It's a whale. Chill. And Ahab's like, I refuse to chill. And he's like, I made a leg out of a whale's jawbone because fucking that's the kind of guy I, Ahab, am. What's my last name? We don't even know.
Meanwhile, Moby Dick is assembling all the the pieces of Exodia from the various whalers.
Oh, yeah, I see. Yeah. We have an arm, a leg, we have the torso, the head.
Yeah. Soon he'll be able to win the Yu-Gi-Oh game automatically.
Yeah.
That's how he's trying to bring about the end of whaling.
So, Moby Dick is a whale covered in scars, covered in ropes and hemp from just, like, numerous failed attempts on his life. And he has come to take revenge on many a boat.
Judging by their encounter, like the true encounter that's written out, I think Moby Dick gives him a pretty fair shake.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, the first time they spot it, so Ahab spots Moby Dick, and he's like, oh, sick, and he takes the balloon himself. And, he, like, says, like, alright, he does the Dark Knight Rises thing, he's like, all ships, get out there, let's go! Everyone hit the water! And they all go, and Bane blows up the stadium above him. Moby Dick bites his ship in two, his little boats. He's tossed out, the crew's scattered, they all have to go back onto the Pequod and get their wits about them, and instead of leaving, Ahab tries again on the second day. Moby Dick smashes like 3 of his ships. Ahab's rescued, and fucking once again, what's the word they use? Monomaniacal. Mm-hmm. Goes at it again, and on the third day, fucking sharks show up too. Moby Dick destroys not only the boats but the ship as well, and just about prophecies come true. Everyone's dead except for Ishmael, who survives on an item that was introduced earlier in the film.
Yes. Queequeg, he falls ill, they make a coffin for him, and then he suddenly just fucking rebounds. Because Queequeg is the best character in this, and if they made this, if they set this in modern times, they'd have to explain why he isn't the captain. Because he is the best.
Yeah, he's got big, quiet guy energy that I have. He's the lunk, sort of. And, but, yeah, no, he's great. He sits in the coffin to make sure it's the right size. And, like quietly approves. He's like, yeah, I mean, makes sense. But they, since he doesn't need it any longer, they seal it up and use it as a buoy. And that is what, Ishmael is able to hang on to before he's rescued by the Rachel.
Which is your sister's name.
Yeah, that was my big takeaway from the end of the film.
So we are a bad brother and a bad cousin for not reading this book, where at the end the day is saved by Rachel, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, I saw Jaws. A lot of the same beats.
You just saw Jaws for the first time, like, earlier this month.
Uh-huh.
Which is crazy that I didn't know that you hadn't seen Jaws. How was it?
I think that Spielberg guy might have the juice or something. Keep an eye on him.
Show me the way to go home.
Actually, it's probably next film's gonna be like Ready Player 2. I'd drop it at that point.
So, Adam, 2024 is not just the 173rd anniversary of Moby Dick.
Oh yeah, we were trying to find out like what reason to celebrate the tale when we could not hit it on.
Yeah. But did you know what happened in January 20 years ago this month?
What's that?
Anthony Casalena began developing Squarespace for his personal use while attending the University of Maryland.
Oh.
He started sharing it with his friends and family members and participated in a business incubator program at the university. In January 2004, he launched Squarespace as a do-it-yourself drag-and-drop website builder for the public. With a $30,000 seed fund from his father, a small grant from the university, and 300 beta testers who paid a discounted rate. any of which could have been Nazi gold. That's right, Adam. I've said before that Eric Ishii is my white whale for this podcast. I don't know why, but I've decided that they are my ideal guest. But you know what? They are not my white whale.
Oh, no?
No. It is and always has been Squarespace, and I will continue to claim that Squarespace was funded by Nazi gold until you pay me money to say differently.
We have an aggressive ad campaign on this one, where we are aggressive until you get an ad campaign with us.
This is our 4th calendar year of podcasting completely unprofitably.
It's true. It's true. We're not in it for the that sweet whale gold.
Am I cut off from the last fond pride of meanest unemployed podcast hosts? Oh, lonely death on lonely life. Oh, now I feel my topmost greatness lies in my topmost grief. From all your furthest bounds pour ye now in, ye billows of my whole foregone life, and top this one piled coma of my death. Towards thee I roll, thou all-sponsoring but unsponsoring Squarespace. To the last, I grapple with thee. From hell's heart I stab at thee. For hate's sake I spit my last breath at thee. Sink all sponsorships and all ad revenue to one common pool, and since neither can be mine, let me then tow to pieces while still chasing thee, though tied to thee, thou damned corporate sponsor. Thus I give up the ad.
For never was a story of more woe than this of Ahab and his whale-o.
Visit squarespace.com/NaziGold to take advantage of our exclusive offer. Squarespace, a better way to cook.
Man, we messed up in not calling our podcast Nazi Gold.
Did we? Did we really?
No, I'm just... Nope, it's not a good Jaeger name either.
All right, back to the episode.
Right. So these are our three fighters.
Yeah.
Moby Dick, who, as far as the tale goes, is like what? 3-1? 3-0?
Yeah, pretty much.
More so than that.
Let's talk about the stats.
Yeah, okay.
So, a mature sperm whale.
Mm-hmm.
A mature male bull sperm whale is about 52 feet long, or 9.04 stathans. It is the loudest animal on Earth. It can produce, using the phonic lips, spermaceti organ, and... Spermaceti!
Mamma mia!
And junk, or the melon. It can create vocalizations that can break 236 decibels, which might be enough to explode a human skull from range.
Wow.
Yeah. The purpose of spermaceti, which sailors thought was... They called it that because they thought it was sperm. Mm-hmm. Seti means whale, sperm means sperm. They thought it was where the whale kept its jizz.
Wait. They thought they kept the jizz there?
Yeah, up in the head.
I see.
I mean, shark testicles are in their chest, so...
Shark chesticles?
Na shark tits.
Jaeger name,
that's it.
Shark chesticles.
So, the real purpose of spermaceti is twofold. It does aid in creating vocalizations, but also, as the whale dives, spermaceti solidifies. So it kind of acts as like a ballast, to help the whale sink down.
Oh.
While still holding air in its lungs. Sperm whales...
And is it also true that it stops the aging process just like that?
James Cameron isn't right about everything, Adam.
Okay, got it.
Just about when other billionaires are even stupider than he is. Does he have $1 billion? Maybe. Maybe not.
Yeah, he has several $1 billion pictures, I know.
Oh, that's a good point. Well, not all of that goes to him.
Come on now. I think it all goes to him.
Other people made the movie. Is Zoe not getting her bag?
Listen, she's always got enough bags for everything.
So, the sperm whale has the largest nose at 1/3 of the animal's total length.
I see.
It has the largest...
I'd love to see an animal that takes the largest part of the body from every other animal.
Well, the sperm whale also has the largest brain.
Nice.
So
the creature is mostly sperm whale.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I was thinking of the colossal squid eye, for example. Biggest eye.
Oh, that's crazy. Sperm whales do have kind of small eyes. But the largest brain, which weighs 9 kilograms.
Damn.
Yeah. They have many different kinds of vocalizations. One of those kinds of vocalizations are called codas, which are short phrases that vary by culture, that vary by, like, different parts of the world. And they are roughly as complex, from what we can tell, as human language, which is the first time we've seen that in an animal.
Fascinating.
They are not, it is not instinctual. It takes calves about 2 years to learn a pod's language.
Yeah, that's crazy that they have such a complex language, and their medium that they talk through is not as easy as air.
Yeah. From what we can tell, they also have names.
Oh, sweet.
So we might be able to tell what Moby Dick's name is. Like, he might be like... Which means, like, they call me what?
I was gonna say, what if like some of the words don't translate? Like, Moby Dick's name is Dick. Dick means penis too. It's funny to laugh about this piece of literature. It also talks about sperm, which comes from a penis. So another fun lark.
We really did not read the book. We're really... Here's everything I know about...
This episode's the biggest, like, the worst, like, book report that there is.
What else do we know about the world's largest predator? Control F. Penis on Wikipedia. Let's go. No, okay. There's nothing about here. Okay, well, a whale penis is called a dork. I know that.
So if it was really about his dick, it'd be called Moby Dork.
Yeah, pretty much.
We should really get to the main fight here. The commotion in the ocean.
Yeah, so, like, the sperm whales have an advantage over here. The orcas have their own advantages. And does Stockton Rush in his submarine, controlled by a Game Boy Color, have his advantages?
I don't think so. And I think the Yacht Orcas are predisposed to attack him. So this is my first thing here. Like Zoo Tycoon, you drop all these guys in the tank. Who's going after who? Who can coexist?
I think we need to start with who is going after who and why.
Okay.
Here's my pitch. Stockton Rush is a billionaire, and they are all fucking insane.
Do you think that he saw Avatar 2 and thought it was real?
Well, no, because he died before it came out, right? No, he didn't. He didn't. Okay, so no, maybe.
He died the year after it came out.
He died 6 months after it came out.
Yeah, so you know, remember when the first Avatar came out? There's people that were like trying to get to Pandora, like doing like crazy things and stuff like that. I think that he may have been a billionaire delusional enough to think that if he got sperm from Moby Dick, that he could use it. If he got sperm seti from Moby Dick, he could use it to stop the aging process.
Well, this is my plan. He doesn't want to kill Moby Dick. He knows that Moby Dick is out here. Like he and Moby Dick are both real in the scenario.
Yes.
He knows that Moby Dick is out there. He's heard reports and stuff. He wants to fuck that whale.
Wait.
Killing a whale? Been done before. No one's ever fucked a whale.
Oh, yeah. No one advanced by being safe, you know?
Fuck regulations. Regulations are bad. If you want to be safe, don't get out of bed. Don't get in your car. Don't do anything. Don't try to drive a submersible into deep ocean depths with a fucking NES.
I got into oceanographic exploration for 3 reasons. And the first one was to put my dick inside a whale.
And the second 2 are for the whale to put its dick inside me. Both holes. No, what were you going to say?
No, that's it. That's just anyway. Yeah. So okay, I could see rich stock rush, being like all in on doing something no one else has before. The Yacht Orcas, like I said, gotta be against OceanGate billionaires in the sea. This is a logical pairing. What does the Yacht Orcas think of Moby Dick, and vice versa?
Orcas prey on sperm whales.
Okay, got it. So and they travel in a gang.
Yeah, they do. And sperm whales, for their part, don't really prey on marine mammals like how orcas do. They're more suction feeders these days, where they will...
Don't they just go for bits and bobs and plankton and stuff like that?
Sperm whales?
Not sperm whales. I know other major whales do, but sperm whales are predators. Yes. What do they go after?
Yeah, well, baleen whales go after like bits and bobs and plankton and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And little crustaceans and little fish and things. Sperm whales go after fish, but they also go after giant squids and other deep sea monsters, essentially.
Got it. Yeah, I know. I know that from the colossal squid, the largest one ever on record. Does not the beak size of it's not nearly as big as some of the beaks found in bellies of sperm whales.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's bigger ones out there.
So sperm whales have about 10 times as much hemoglobin and myoglobin together as humans do, like per unit.
Okay.
They can dive for about 2 hours at a time. And they've been recorded diving about 2.2 kilometers down. They've also found bits of shark in them from a species that is only found about 3 kilometers down.
Oh, damn. So they go down for sharks.
Yeah. They also might have glow-in-the-dark teeth.
Sick.
Yeah, and they just use that like a lure to like draw in giant squid and things.
Now, what do you mean by might? Has this not been tested?
It's not been tested, it's not been seen, but they do know that there are weird kinds of bacteria in the animal's mouth, and that do fluoresce. But they don't know if it fluoresces enough that it actually works as like a bioluminescent symbiosis thing. There's honestly a lot that we still don't know about animals, and the ocean particularly.
Oh yeah, that's what brings the allure of James Cameron and his ilk.
Hmm?
They're lured down there as if by the glowing teeth of a sperm whale.
To just swallow all the billionaires whole. So let's see.
So it sounds like Yacht Orcas will definitely take on Moby Dick. And Moby Dick could take on the Yacht Orcas.
Yeah, possibly. So let's see here.
Okay.
All right, so the Titan submarine wants to fuck Moby Dick. The Orcas want to kill the Titan submarine. The Orcas also possibly want to kill Moby Dick, although I think that's mutual. I think they both want to go for each other. They don't trust each other, particularly.
Yeah. Also, birds gotta swim, fish gotta eat.
Moby Dick is from the equatorial Pacific, which Ahab gets there in the story by going from, like, Massachusetts around the Cape of Good Hope and, like, past Taiwan and things to get there, instead of going around South America, which is criminal behavior. Like, man's a lunatic. So maybe the orcas might not want to kill Moby Dick because they are a resident pod. They eat fish. Like, they are...
These particular ones hang on the strait, is what you're saying.
Yeah, there's 3 major, like, cultural types of orca, and that might be separate species. It's hard to say so far. So I think Moby Dick recognizes that the orcas might be a threat because I don't think he can tell the difference between a resident pod and a transient pod.
Yeah.
Where a transient pod might try to hunt him and a resident pod just wants fish.
I see.
So,
Moby Dick would be an aggressor in that situation.
Yeah, and the orcas would be an aggressor against Titan, and they probably wouldn't care much about Moby Dick or just trying to maybe give him his space.
It sounds like what we've developed here is a bit of a rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah.
Where Moby Dick wants to bite the whales. The whales want to bite OceanGate, and OceanGate wants a bite of that dick.
wants a Moby of that dick. So it seems like no one wins, but I think we need to throw a monkey wrench in here.
Who shows up with a steel chair?
There are 2 options here. 2 things that came out in 2023.
I guess that is our metric here for the news story.
Yeah. So first off, Aquaman 2 came out, but no one saw it, so we're not counting that, I think. I
know more about Moby Dick than Aquaman 2.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
The other thing that came out, weighing in at 10.26, Jason Statham's.
Oh.
Coming all the way from the Miocene period.
Is it the Meg 2?
It's the Meg 2, The Trench.
Oh, fuck. I did see that film in theaters.
There we go. This is the one we've done the most research for.
That was the last film I saw with my AMC A-list membership.
R.I.P. to a real one, the AMC real list membership.
Yeah, it's like watching movies every month for, like, 50 months, and I end with that. Yeah, no, so the Meg is, well...
About 59 feet long, which is longer than a sperm whale.
Mhm.
There are possible reasons why it went extinct. There was a hypothesis that the Ice Age happened, whales started going to more productive waters in the north where the Meg couldn't follow. But now we know that most sharks are mesothermic. They maintain a body temperature to some extent.
So that's not the dominant theory anymore.
Yeah, and also Megalodon was much bigger than any other shark, so you get kind of a gigantothermy. Like, at a certain point, if an animal's big enough, it doesn't matter if it's cold-blooded. Like, there's hot on the inside, just from being a physically large body.
Yeah, it's got a whole city going on there.
Yeah. So, other reasons why the Megalodon may have went extinct is North and South America joined up.
Oh, they became one America? They hand shook in the Panama Canal?
Yeah, well, not a canal, yet.
Oh, right, in Panama.
Yeah.
My least favorite strait.
Is Panama a strait?
The Panama Canal, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We're not sure that the Americas hooking up is the reason for this, but around this point in time, diatom diversity just suddenly declined. And no plankton means no big whales, so less food around means more competition with the predators that do exist. And Megalodon went out to great whites, which ate smaller marine mammals and, didn't grow as big.
He lost out to, like, the flashier young model.
Yeah, the flashier young model that doesn't need to eat an entire fucking whale every month. Also, orcas hopped on around this time. Orcas logged on to the server. And, most relevantly, an animal called Leviathan melvilli.
Oh, wait a second. That last name rings a bell.
Mm-hmm. This is named after Herman Melville.
All right. Tell me about this bee. Oh my god.
Yeah. This is a macroraptorial sperm whale.
Shit. I see why it was named this way.
Modern physeter sperm whales are suction feeders. They've only got teeth on the bottom jaw. This guy had teeth on both jaws, and it was like a great white, or like an orca, or like a megalodon, a predator of other whales.
Yeah, damn, this thing's chomping on everything.
Now,
yeah, people have done the death battle between this and the megalodon before.
Oh, it's a popular trait. It's very like the T-Rex and Triceratops of the, like, Miocene ocean.
Yeah, this one page I'm looking at gives the W to the Leviathan. Bigger size, speed advantage, bigger teeth, and endurance. I don't know if they, like, did tracks around the field.
Well, I will point out that looking at this, the youngest fossils of Leviathan are 5 million years old, whereas the youngest ones of Megalodon are 3.6 million. So, like, hey, who's standing?
Right. I will say, track record's important. The Moby Dick has 0 loses. Very good point.
And
wins every fight that it goes up against. Might be God or death. Not unclear. Also a point in his courts.
One of the ways that sharks attack dolphins in the modern day, and how, like, from what we can tell of fossil evidence, Megalodon attacked whales. There's 2 major weak points on a whale. Adam, do you know what they are?
Yeah, it's the big fucking forehead, right? That big dumb spot.
What specific part of the forehead?
What's it? That's the little tiny hole they breathe out of, the blowhole. Is that a weakness?
Yep.
All right.
Not really a lot you can do without breathing.
Sure, yeah. And it's a real Achilles heel, ain't it?
Yeah. That one is a good one, but also, like, the real Achilles heel is in, not exactly, but kind of the heel. Like, the bit where it gets really thin, where the tail joins the rest of the body.
Oh, is that because of its mammalian evolution?
Yes. Exactly.
Whales used to be creatures that walked around, but then they led a more aquatic lifestyle and lost that ability. However, there's still evolutionary evidence that this piece was part of them.
Yes. Very good. And also, they swim with their tail, and if you bite their fucking tail half off, they turn into a big bag of hit points.
Don't forget of course, the third weakness.
You're talking about
Them
the dick?
teeth.
Oh.
No, yeah, if they lose the teeth, they could be a death sentence.
Oh, good point. I did say that earlier.
You said that earlier. I'm listening.
That's more of a slow death, though. I think if you're, like, hunting the whale, I think, like... I ruined your credit score, whale. No!
Death by slowly starving over 7 years.
He just, like, hunts him for 7 years, which in many ways is the original Ahab.
Okay, so what we learned here?
Well, what we've learned here is that, does Moby Dick have the stones to go after a shark? What are the shark's weaknesses?
That's a good point. Is the shark God-fearing?
No.
No. The shark was able to be taken down by a modern-day Captain Ahab, which is Jason Statham's character, which is like Jonah something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. One Statham or 5'9".
And for a rugged action hero in his 60s with one harpoon and a jet ski, if he can do the job against the Meg to the trench, then I can't see him losing out to Moby Dick, who grew up in the era of whaling.
Mm.
Who basically he took his lumps. I'm getting real like sportscaster about this.
Yeah, that's the vibe.
Yeah, he took his lumps. He changed the game. Like he gave Ahab a fair shot and beat him 3 days out of 3. It's no contest.
Now, here's a question about the Meg 2, the trench. How do billionaires fare against the Meg?
I think relatively poorly. That's more of an answer for someone that has seen the Meg Zero, the Meg period. The first one.
I see.
Which I did not see before Meg 2.
We don't do research for this show.
Yeah, they build an undersea structure. Some billionaires. And let me tell you, there's fewer billionaires in the second film. Let's just say that.
Okay. So that's good. If we don't do research, anyone could do this show.
Well, that's assuming that someone else would have this idea to start with.
That's pretty fair, honestly. So,
yeah,
I feel like
listen. I mean, I get the lust. I get the drive that rich bags. The third has in his heart, but the OceanGate sub's ain't winning in any of these fights. It has 0 weapon capability, and the smallest of punctures will turn everything inside into soup.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure any one of these other contestants could take out the Titan.
Mm-hmm. Even it can also be taken out by nothing, like in real life.
I know whales tend to hang out at, there's a range where the temperature is cold enough and the pressure is high enough that sound travels, crazy far underwater. Mm-hmm. And so whales like to hang out there, and they can send messages over, the whale internet, to the other side of the planet.
Oh, damn. That's pretty cool. The Whale Wide Web?
The Whale Wide Web, or the SOFAR level, as it's called.
Nice.
Yeah, the SOFAR channel. That's what it's called. It's literally a channel. Submarines make use of this as well. But not that Stockton Rush would know anything about that.
No, not his area of expertise.
Probably not.
All right, so he's easily out of this fight.
All right, first elimination.
Mm-hmm. I think the Yacht Orcas, if they are, it's all about that territory.
Mm-hmm.
And if they were forced to be in the same stretch of ocean, it depends on if it's the strait or not.
Now, let's be generous.
Okay.
And I don't think this is true, but let's say the resident orcas, let's say they know a thing or two. Maybe they've run into transient orcas before and they know how to take out a shark.
Okay.
Could, I've taken out a great white before with me and my buddy. Could, 30 of us take out a Meg?
This is slowly, surely turning into the end of Jurassic World.
Great. Movie made $1 billion, Adam. Did you hear the thing about Squarespace earlier?
Yeah, they're going to tag team with Moby Dick and do this kind of two are better than one against these ancient predators.
I think orcas could easily figure out how to mob a megalodon. You know, you bump the gills a bit, just bump the gills, bump the eyes, and just kind of harass the thing. They might try to turn the shark upside down, which would put it in tonic immobility, which would just, like, freeze it up. But I don't know if they could do that on something so big.
They're the smartest fighters in this whole, like, competition. And there's a group of them, so that coordination is possible. So all that together, and the fact that they can, like, outsmarts the, human inventions all the time, and disable, like, yachts, like, is what they're good at. Like, these are some clever-ass orcas.
Yeah.
I think they're able to tell, like, hey, wait a second, he's got a blowhole like we do. Let's take when it comes to the whales that he's going up against versus the megalodon. Yeah, sure, bigger, but they're, to your point, the megalodon didn't win in the evolutionary fight against the smaller predators.
True, but
I think in a, like, if we're talking about a contest here, a race, like an Olympic Games of sorts. The orcas are gonna win more events.
Do we also think that Moby Dick could take out Megalodon? Because he doesn't have the top teeth. He's not a macro predator. He goes after, like, little fish and squid and things you can suck. A Megalodon is not that.
Yeah, I think that Meg 2 the Trench begins with a Megalodon climbing up to the shoreline and eating a dinosaur.
Okay, so that did not happen. They did not live at the same time.
So that tells me that that the Meg 2, the Trench, knows no bounds.
I see, yes.
And has no favored prey, and would happily be the aggressor in a Moby Dick situation. And while Moby Dick can easily outsmart human vessels and things like that, it might be outgunned against the Megalodon. Yeah, it just does not have the artillery, the equipment to match it toe for toe.
Yeah, a proper historic megalodon, like an accurate megalodon, would be one question, but a Meg 2 the Trench might be the winner, just out of, like, fictional. Well, hang on, if we're going by, like, fictional mojo, then the one who's knocked out are the real orcas.
Right, yeah, the real orcas would probably be the opening snack for the Meg 2 the Trench.
I think they might get, like, picked off by Meg 2 the Trench trying to, like, drive it out, and they might engage, like, a tactical retreat. Moby Dick would also like, be forcing them out. I think they would take their losses, they would do the smart thing and run.
But again, the Meg 2 the Trench will lose at the end of the film.
And Moby Dick wins!
Moby Dick always wins at the end of the movie. Like, there's no version of Moby Dick where Ahab's like, cool, got him. Like, it's not... That would be
a dumb version.
Yeah, it could be a space whale story.
Can you imagine a version where he, like, successfully captures Moby Dick, but doesn't kill him and just takes him back to New York, and then it becomes King Kong?
That'd be pretty great. It's this giant tank.
Like a wet King Kong.
Moby Dick is sad.
He pushes the Empire State Building over into the ocean. It's on the coast now, don't worry about it. And he, like, drags him down to the bottom or the top. Wasn't the submarines. 'Twas some fucking maniac killed the beast.
Yeah, so I gotta give the dub to the one that's been winning for the past, like, 170 some years, Moby Dick.
Yeah. He also has that, like, a skull exploding secret technique.
Oh yeah, that's the what do you call it, the Godzilla like move.
Oh my god, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, when these other big kaiju like come to fight, like then it's like, all right, cool. Now here comes my atomic breath.
Yeah, that is that. Oh my god, yeah. Like he can only maybe like rake the megalodon, which could be like really bad for the gills. Or something, like, with his teeth. He couldn't do a full bite, but he could, like, if the stakes are low, just, like, unleash his, like, phantom scream.
Yeah, I absolutely. So, they're lucky that Nantucket's not falling prey to his horrible screams.
All right, well...
But yeah, no, Moby Dick's our clear winner.
Very problematically holding Moby Dick's flipper up in the air, like, we have a winner. 1, 2, 3, he's down.
Yeah, and what better time than to go to the final rating place, where we can harvest the spermaceti from this great beast.
We can do what Stockton Rush died doing and get the sperm out of this whale.
Right. Moby Dick is there's a reason that... No, I was going to say that there's a reason why this has pop cultural significance. I think in recent history... the word dick in the title's doing a lot of legwork. It's still a classic piece of literature, and I think that the fact that it's such a disputed, chewed-on monster metaphor meaning, even to this day, is means that it has... I don't know why I keep going to this, but it can go the distance in terms of what you want from a monster. It does fall into that force of nature aspect, though, that we talk about sometimes. How it's like, there's no human elements to Moby Dick, the creature.
Yeah, he's kind of, like, transcendent in that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Iconic, powerful, scary, noteworthy, but there's no... You can't tell, like, a story with Moby Dick as the protagonist. It would be a boring story.
I disagree. I think you could do that, but you would have to do it these days. Like, back then, they didn't know as much about whales. To Herman Melville's eternal chagrin. He has one book that's like, the whale be a big fish. And he's like, I can't read this.
So yeah, perhaps that's it then. But yeah, to me, I would give Moby Dick a pretty... I'm going to give him a 6.5.
Well, I think Moby Dick the book is a very archetypical, like, adventure story.
Oh, yeah.
And it is, like, it's a globe-trotting book in the 1850s, which you don't really get a lot of.
That we said is surprisingly, like, well cast.
Yeah, truly.
In terms of the number of different types of people that it tells a story of.
Yeah, and it is cool how that's, like... portrayed very honestly. Like, ships like this were like places where a lot of people of color in colonial America could, become...
succeed.
Yeah, could thrive, at least. Or survive, possibly. Well, not in Moby Dick necessarily. No spoilers.
Yeah, not in Moby Dick specifically.
Yeah. But... I mean, it's very easy to explain to people like, yes, the whale is death. And that makes it good for, like, high school and, like, middle school level readings and retellings of things. But it's symbolically rich. It's worth... It's symbolically rich, and it is a classic story for a reason. I didn't read it. Why am I commenting on it? You know what? Moby Dick is a big whale, and that fucking rocks. And he can kill a megalodon. I'm going to give him 10 out of 10.
There you have it. Thank you for joining us for another seaworthy voyage as we travel to past the waypoints of June-uary for the Revenge. Join us next time when we travel to uncharted waters in a weird submarine thing that Adam had as a Lego model. Join us on Discord and share the show with a friend.
Now small fowls flew screaming over the yet yawning gulf. A sullen white surf beat up against its steep sides, then all collapsed, and the great shroud of Squarespace rolled on as it rolled in 5,000 other podcasts.
Sperm!